But my name is Jennifer Seal. I'm a learning support teacher at the Technical College High School, the Brandywine campus. We're part of Chester County IU, so a little bit different than most career and techs. We are run by an intermediate unit and not by a joint operating committee. So we have about 2,000 employees in the whole organization. So we always have to make sure we're making everybody happy and helping our students the best of our abilities. So we're going to talk a little bit about CRI, or Career Readiness Transition Enrichment course that we offer at TCHS Brandywine, Penn Uxbridge, and Pickering, our 3 campuses. It's a non-credit course for all CTE students, and it's a collaboration of our school team. So we have Perkins staff, guidance, Steve Rahall's guidance, Kelly Kubala's learning support with me, program instructors, business and industry, just everyone involved, and of course the students and more. So it is something that is for a benefit of our students, and it helps out all the staff and all of our stakeholders. I will turn it over to Steve.
Thank you, Jen. And the other PowerPoint needs to go up.
Jen, our PowerPoint's not showing.
It is not showing at all.
It's up.
Oh, resume share. Is it working now? Your screen sharing is paused. Let me try new share. Let me try it this way. Share. Nope.
It was there for a second.
It was there for a second. Well, this is working just swimmingly, isn't it? All right, I'm going to go into my email, try to work it this way. I think it completely disappeared from me as well. I think, unfortunately, you're going to hear some pings when I pull it up this way. Oops, wrong one. Not it. Steve, while I try to pull this up, do you want to go over mental health and teams, and I'll bring the slide up in a second.
The slide up. I'm sure all of you guys, as we've gone through this pandemic the last 2 or 3 years, is just trying to rebuild.
Can you all hear him or not?
Yeah, Steve, something's going on with your audio.
All right. Do you want me to try to? All right. Well, this is working well. Do what?
Bang up job here.
There we go. I can hear you now. Can you see the screen share now?
Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you. Steve, you want to try again? And if he doesn't come through clearly, I'll just take over his piece there.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So sorry about that. Yeah, so I was saying one of the biggest things that we trying to do, and I'm sure all of you guys are trying to reconnect with your students and your buildings, and we've been in and out. Students are here, they're not. Our attendance has been very jagged, to say the least. Just trying to, a lot of what Debbie said is she covered a lot of our thunder, so to speak, but I just want to give you an idea what our aspect, how we approach this. You know, obviously our students are coming back into the building, teachers as well are anxious, you know, with COVID and all the issues that are going on around us in society, just trying to help out to develop those relationships again. Students have been at home. They may or may not have associated with much of the friend groups, you know, on teams and in school. So just trying to help them build that team up again and give them an idea that there are people there in school to help support them and build those relationships again that we had before. If there were freshmen or sophomores that we did have before the pandemic, we started to build some of those relationships, those kind of lost in the shuffle. We're just trying to rebuild those so that the students have a team to lean on. So some of these teams we built through our Perkins learning support, guidance, program instructors, other staff members, mental health people. We're able to get back into the building, into the classrooms more, and just let the students know who we are, put a face to who we are and how we can help them. This really started to develop a lot, the morale has come a long way from where it was before, just rebuilding those teams again. So again, just, that team approach and letting everyone know that we're here to support each other and we have each other's back.
So along with supporting each other, supporting the students, mental health, getting back in the swing of things with social skills, soft skills, communication skills, we also, being part of the IU, need to look at the big picture, not just helping our students and our school districts and our team and our building and the other two buildings. We also have to support the organization. So the IU comes up with organizational goals yearly, and there are 4 organizational goals this year. And this course and what we do, and we kind of share the power and share the assistance, also supports the organizational goals. So on the screen, the first goal is we connect to school district parents and students, business opportunities, and post-secondary partners. And the second piece is communicating the IU's mission of implementing communication plan across all stakeholders, groups, in order to continue growth in two-way communication channels, improve the use of database marketing, communications, etc. So again, the difference with being a TCHS Brandywine is, again, the around 2,000 employees. We have a whole marketing and communications team. So we have to make sure everything is streamlined through them and that we're communicating clearly. And this past year, especially with COVID, we really have implemented social media, giving the rah-rahs and communicating our information out. So that is a piece of it as well.
So what is this course? We really wanted to make sure that we were developing something that would add value to what the districts were providing and really beef up our students' skills. So the course really focuses on preparing our students for what comes next. And in that, we're lessening their anxiety because the unknown future is scary, especially for high schoolers. So we want to make sure we're really focusing on all those different aspects. We're doing that through whole group, small group, and individual instruction, through transition activities, working on soft skills, that workplace readiness piece, doing those lovely state things that we're all having to do, our career readiness indicators, program-specific certifications, prepping for that NOCTI, working with our CTSOs. But most importantly, we're building relationships. So this feels like a lot, but when we're working as a team within the building, it's not all on one person. It's kind of taking, like Debbie was saying, that tornado of teaching and making it feel a lot less because, I don't have to do everything myself. Jen doesn't have to do everything herself. We've really split it up. And it's really made the career readiness indicators and all of these activities very student-centered. The students know that they're at the middle of everything that we're doing. You want to switch slide? So the goal and focus. Our ultimate goal is to really prepare students. So we want to give them skills, tools, and documents that they can use when their life moves on. Everything that we're doing in career and tech ed really should be transferable into their future. We want our students to be workplace ready, career ready, post-secondary ready, whatever's coming next in their life, we want them to be ready for it. I've had students say that they're going to take a gap year. Why do I need all this post-secondary stuff? Well, what happens if after that gap year, you decide you do want to go to school, or you do want to get a big job and not just travel Europe? We need them to be ready, even if it's not directly next, they'll be ready at some point. So we've made it so that our course is accessible to our staff and our students. We have supplemental resources that people can choose from. And Jen's going to click on it.
Did that work?
It did.
Okay.
So we really broke this course down so that everything's kind of right there. All the team members can see what we're doing in year one with underclassmen, and resources that kids can access, resources the teachers can access. A lot of this is great, especially when, you know, maybe you're out and have a substitute. Kind of bring in some of these activities. Year two, all the different topics we're going to cover, other resources students can use. Year three, so all of our programs are 3 years, so we broke this down with the intent of them being there for the 3 years. So our seniors and our 13-year students, one of the pieces we really like to cover is that email and cyber etiquette, because that is a huge part of the world today. How are you safe online? How do you email appropriately? How do you talk to someone through Zoom? All these things are part of their life. We provide them with transition checklists and all the resources that they need in order to be a successful adult. We also have on here our IEP transition input, which is all the information that our special ed team, which Jen doesn't have access to right now. I was doing one time.
I forgot to sign into the class.
But it's all the information that our special education team provides to the districts that really explains all that we do at our school, so that it's all going into the IEP and it shows that value added piece to our districts. And then we have our additional resources. Jen, you want to go back to the PowerPoint?
Yeah. That is probably easier said than done.
It's right. I see the tab.
There it is.
There it is.
Ooh.
Perfect.
Look at us being fancy and acting like we know what we're doing.
Like I knew what I was doing. Not really. Oh, let me try to pull it up. It is not going great here. Sorry, guys. There we go. Oh, I'm back. I went too far.
Oh, you went ahead. You're a little ahead. Yep.
Yep.
So here we go. Our course really starts within our programs. So bringing in these program events to make the class honestly more fun. Because let's be honest, when the students are enjoying themselves and they're having fun when they're learning, they are less stressed, their anxiety reduces, and they're not avoiding school. So we do that by the staff pushing into the classrooms and making everything that we're doing very exciting. We do guest speakers quite regularly. We have them come in person now, which is awesome. That face-to-face time is great. But we also have them do it virtually. This is a really great option, especially if we have someone, during COVID, we had a nurse from Seattle do a interview and guest speak for our students in the Health Career Pathways program. And she was on the front lines in Seattle and was able to really explain what was going on out there. And this virtual option really gave our students that face-to-face time, but also, you know, they had an opportunity that they wouldn't have had if we weren't using technology. We are thankfully doing field trips again. We're getting kids out into the industry. Our barbering and cosmetology programs do what we call salon crawls, where they go and visit a couple of different salons and really learn about what it's like to work there. And then we have other virtual experiences. This might be a virtual job shadow. We are still having some issues getting our students out for job shadowing experiences, especially in the more medical fields, our veterinary science, our health career pathways, our criminal justice. We're still hitting some roadblocks getting them out to get those experiences. So these virtual experiences have really been able to play a really important role in students accessing the community, seeing what it'd be like to be in the field, even though they can't go there in person.
Thanks, Kelly. So a little bit about the scope and sequence. We've divided it into whole group senior plus. So we do have some students who are 13 years and beyond. So that would be oftentimes students who are trying to earn their barbering or cosmetology certification. But we also have a special ed program it's called Transition to Work program. So these students are all 13th years plus, have not accepted their diploma yet. So we also include them. And then we have underclassmen and individual small groups. So it's every single student in the career and tech program. And the team that works on this is learning support, business and industry, guidance, specialists, and program instructors. But we also have a Perkins staff. We have a huge Perkins grant, which is great. We've got lots of people working on that. So we have 2 Perkins folks dedicated to our building, and then we have a Perkins coordinator and an assessment specialist. And then we also have some other Perkins folks, and you'll see one of them in a video shortly. And so we all team up. It's really to help check those boxes. We all have so much to do. And we want to make such a difference with the students that we have, again, like Kelly and Steve has said, we've divided and conquered, but have our face out to everyone. So if I have a student who's having a really hard time and they need guidance, they've already seen Steve and they're familiar with him. Or if I'm not in and Kelly's in, they're comfortable with her. And that goes for pretty much the whole team. We're very visible. So it is great to be able to do that. And how often do we do this? We do this at least bi-monthly. So we're in the classrooms, but often it is more, depending on the needs of the group. So
thank you.
Talk about the scope and sequence for marking periods 1 through 4.
Yeah, so 1 through 4, I mean, again, the beauty of this is we're starting to get back in front of the students. The students are getting to know us a little bit more personally instead of by Zoom. And so it's great to connect again with them. First marking period, obviously something we're trying to do with all of our students, the career objective form, the PD 408, that's something we're going to get in front of all the students, the counselors, and some other staff to complete those surveys with the students. There, in one of the other slides, they mentioned the PA Career Zone. We're using that for our CRI collections. There's resumes, templates, things like that. They're starting to work on those. The scope and sequence with an underclassman, we obviously have students that will come as a first-year senior. They're going to go through all this process a little bit more expedited, so we will give them a chance to go through all this. We just recently had our career fair, and we'll touch on that a little bit later. So it's just developing those items that we need. Dual enrollment is another one. We're presenting that first quarter of the year to all of our students through a number of our programs. So we do have quite a few students out in taking dual enrollment classes. The writing process, marking period 2, we're starting, teachers getting used to their students a little bit, and they're writing samples within their programs, in their career and clusters, working with them just interpersonally to develop those relationships. One of the big things we're always doing is the task list as well. Teachers are going over that, bi-monthly, or if not more, maybe weekly with the students to let them know what they're completing within their programs. As much as we can, like Kelly and Jen have said, the exposure to business, people outside, the field trips, dual enrollment we're doing co-op opportunities. So trying to develop those, providing post-secondary, obviously, as we get to the latter part of this year with just starting to present students with field trips and people in the building. We're getting a lot of our business people and our post-secondary people in to talk about what certs are available for them. Our career training, our career technical school organizations as well. Right now, Skills USA, FFA, some of the other ones that our students are very well involved with, important part of that process. And then we obviously get into our interview skills. All of our students are expected to be doing community service opportunities out there at least once a year, hopefully more if they're able to. And just getting caught up on things. We got behind, obviously, being home and away from the building. So just trying to get the students back up to speed and have those items available. So senior year, one of the big things I know Kelly touched on was the job shadow. So first part of the year, we're going to try and, get the students out doing those, getting that, again, like I said, the task lists up to speed. We're pushing for our students to complete as many as we can throughout their time with us. Obviously, them not being in the building has been difficult. So being hands-on is difficult to get through that, but we're trying to work them through those as the instructors are presenting from a virtual platform for quite a bit of their time. Again, working on program certs, working with them to develop those so they can continue to earn those as many as we can before they get toward graduation. Developing their portfolios again, their skills, resumes, emails, so forth. So they're getting that etiquette and developing that ability to remote and connect cyberly in an appropriate manner. Just getting them future ready. When they step out of our building this year, we want them to be able to start presenting themselves in a young professional way, and want to help them along that path. Career training fair, we just recently completed that recently, and I know Jen and Kelly are a big part of that. We had about 120 plus employers in the building and doing interviews with our students, and none of them offering them jobs and so forth. So that's a huge culmination kind of our senior year for our students. And now we're getting into that NOCTI prep. We'll be starting our written and performance testing very soon here, right around April, and just getting them prepared for that. So that's a big part of it. We also had a marketing fair here as well, so the students were able to go through and do some budgeting skills and work on those items that are extremely important as they start to move into young adult life. The latter part of this year, we'll go through our senior survey, develop those, go through those and see if we've had any changes from the beginning of the year, update those transitions as we go forward toward graduation, and just continue to develop that post-secondary approach for them. Some of the ongoing things we do with students, obviously our students, a lot of them will be taking SATs. We had the ASVAB here earlier this year. We offered that as well. Again, just preparing them with our certificates, anything they can earn within their programs. We're trying to make sure they get everything they need from us as they move toward graduation. Post-secondary options as well, and financial aid. We had a workshop earlier this year, continuing to help students with the FAFSA and things like that they need. Some of them are still applying for scholarships, so we're working with them as well with those, and just meeting those career-ready items that they need for us as well as their district partners that we work with. And just developing that social workplace skill and soft skills that they're so important in as they move into that young professional life. Small groups. So we did some small group. Perkins people would come in and meet with our students in smaller groups or larger groups, depending on those different sessions and so forth, targeting those CRIs, just making sure that students are meeting those needs. Some students will have to take that on. Some of them have completed a lot of those on their own, but our Perkins people and others have gotten in front of them and really gave them a chance to have a workshop and work with them. And it really helped out our instructors. They can continue to focus on some other items with our different target groups within their class. And then the Perkins people covered those portfolio items and things they're meeting toward that graduation piece that we're working toward.
So as Steve just said, the small groups, I believe I sent over to, they'll be available on the website, some of our different small groups, like college essay writing, portfolio workshops, ASVAB, prep, that type of thing. So you'll have a sheet similar to this we'll be able to print out where you could customize.
It's been a great process though for the kids. They really bought into these workshops and, just help the kids and the teachers out as well to meet these needs that they're going to need. And the portfolio they're developing within our students at our school is a great resource that they can have to take when they graduate.
So we're gonna hope this works. So to support the community, to support the students, support the staff. I mean, you know how it is getting some of these kids because of COVID, they've been so introverted and isolated and not feeling part of the team, trying to get them to make those phone calls for job shadows or filling out a resume, an application, or doing their resume has been hard. So taking the team approach and doing these smaller groups has been very beneficial. The IU teamed up with the Economic Development Council and the workforce to create Career Ready Chesco. So you'll see, I'm going to show you a short little video, and then I'll link to the site just so you can see it. One of our Perkins folks will be narrating this for you.
Uncertainty about career goals is nothing new. Students have faced the same or similar challenges for years. You may recall how you responded when asked the question, what do you want to be when you grow up? Chances are that, like me, you probably said, I don't know. Fortunately, there are resources available in Chester County that can help students as they prepare for their futures. Career Ready Chesco is the resource that I strongly recommend. In conjunction with the Chester County Intermediate Unit, the Chester County Workforce Development Board, and the Chester County Economic Development Council, Career Ready Chesco is a data bank of information for our students. Business owners who sign on will have multiple options on how to help our students prepare for their futures. Included are job shadow experiences, field trips, and internships, just to name a few. If you're a business owner looking to build your workforce while helping our students prepare for their futures, we invite you to sign on at www.careerreadychesco.org. Questions, please contact us at careerreadychesco@cciu.org. Thanks for listening.
So here's an idea of what the link looks like. Maybe. So here's the platform. You get to sign on: student, educator, provider, local workforce data, available experiences, providers, and schools. So if I just click on the available experiences, those are some of our Discover students there. And eventually we'll be able to see the experiences. But we have companies like Allen Myers. They're a huge company around. You probably see their black trucks with yellow writing on them wherever you are in Pennsylvania. The great thing is they just opened a yard literally like 1,000 feet down from our school. They've come in several times to speak to our students, offer job shadows and experiences. And I'd love to show you what they offer, but it's not showing up on my screen. But they're one of the main companies that is on this website, Career Ready Chesco. They offer paid pieces. Also, they will offer to come in. You can tour their facility. So apparently it doesn't want to work for me. So I'm just going to click out of that and go right back to here. But that is one of our resources that we get to use to help these kids find out what is available out there for them and their parents. I'm sure you still have parents that say, oh, career in tech, that's VOTech. It's for those kids. But to see the opportunities that are available to them and the experiences using things just like this website are great for our kids and our families. So some of the group events we have, well, we have Q1 senior meeting. Steve will talk about that in just a moment. But the senior meetings are a great way to get face-to-face with all of our kids. The Franklin Make Credit Union, Q2. And it's a program, again, we'll show you that in a bit, that every single credit union in the area has this same program. It's called Different Things, but it's free to your students and your school. CRI week, so we had that Q2. This is just get the kids, get the CRIs done, get face-to-face with them in front of as many staff members as they can, so that they have a team behind them. CTE month is obviously Q3, career and training fair, the culminating piece for our seniors, but all of our underclassmen get to help out with it and get to see it. So it's the anticipation, which is fantastic. Great thing about the career and training fair this year, we had a company show up from Maryland. We didn't know who he was. One of our former students that attended the career and training fair several years ago told me he had to come. So he drove from Maryland to our building and registered that day to interview kids. Q4 is really our wrap-up marking period, going over the task list for all students, post-secondary information, transition surveys, and playing catch-up. We have rolling admission, which makes life interesting. We will accept new students through February, and sometimes there's always special deals. As you know, some people above all of us on our team make deals to get kids in earlier. So you all know in CTE, safety is like the biggest thing Q1. So we're playing catch up. What is a task list? What do you have to do? What is safety? So that's really a wrap up and a catch up marking period for us. And then obviously CTSOs are ongoing.
So the senior workshop was a wonderful opportunity for us the counselors and other staff to get in front of our seniors. I know they work closely with their school district personnel as well. So just wanted to get in front of them to make some connections, put a face to some of them. We do have first year seniors, and obviously those seniors have been with us for 3 years. A lot of them weren't in our building. If they were, it was, 1 day here and 5 days out, and they're back in a week. So it was tough to make a lot of those connections. But so with the counselors, we talked to them. All the seniors filled out a little card we gave them, what their plan was after graduation. So I got a chance to give them some thought about it. It was anonymous. Students, obviously if they felt like it, we did discuss some of their plans if they felt the need to share. The beauty with that, once they filled those cards out, was that we also had our instructors in those workshops give those students a chance to share their plan about their experiences and how each one was a little bit different. Just because I'm an automotive service tech didn't mean I started out that way. So our instructors had a chance to talk with their students, with us as well, to explain their plan, just give them an idea. Everyone's options, there's a lot of different options out there, how their experience is going to take place. May be different from one person to the next, but you can all still get to that same goal. And just building part of that workshop, the beauty of it all is, there's a lot of information we're throwing at our students, and I'll touch on that here shortly, but also developing, just getting that balance. Our students, they're getting a lot. They have 2 schools they're balancing throughout each day, and all the things that have gone on with the COVID and so forth. Just giving them a chance to recenter themselves. Debbie hit on a lot of that is excellent ideas and things that we can certainly do to help our kids. So those are things we're trying to work with as well, and give them a chance to just get a better perspective on who they are and how they're going to get to that ultimate goal they want to seek out when they graduate and so forth. So the means, it's kind of like I said, filling that gap with the sending schools. A number of our students, they're working closely with their counselors and other people at their high schools to develop post-secondary. We're obviously a trade school, so we're trying to, present those opportunities, either college, trade, technical, 2-year, community college, all those different options. Our students get a chance to choose from a lot, which is wonderful, but also can be overwhelming for them. So trying to just give them some understanding of what that looks like, so they can kind of back up, downshift a little bit and realize what is there, how we can help them get to those processes and get to those opportunities. Military, obviously, we provided the ASVAB this year. We have a number of our trade school partners come in each year as well. They were at our career training fair as well. So just trying to develop that understanding and what's out there for our students. Options is the big thing. Not everybody has to go on to college. Some will go right into workforce. How we work with them with co-op and all those different opportunities to develop themselves as they get career ready.
So one of the big first weeks we had was our CRI week. And in our CRI week, we really pushed to get a lot of the different aspects for those career readiness indicators done. So we would bring all of our underclassmen together on various days. So we brought them all together at once. That'd be a lot of kids. And over the course of a week, we were really able to explain to them why these things are important. Why should I do an interest inventory? Why should I look at where my interest and aptitude lie and where they meet? We also had our senior conferences during this time, so that while the seniors were at that senior meeting that Steve just talked about, the underclassmen were really starting to build towards their future. So it was a lot of coordination. So we put, our Perkins staff put out this wonderful schedule that really helped our instructors to know where they were supposed to be, because I don't know about you guys, but I know in our building, there's always a million things going on. So it's really important that we have a schedule to follow so that everyone knows where they need to be when. So we broke the students down, and while our underclassmen were working on their CRI information and working on interest inventories and resumes and cover letters and thank you letters, our seniors were planning for their future. And in the middle there, you will see our financial literacy fair. So our financial literacy fair was put on by Franklin Mint Federal Credit Union. Most credit unions have something very similar. It's free. They come in, they run it. It was an amazing day. All of our students got a packet that I believe should be in the resources that we were providing, that Franklin Mint brought in, and it really made kids think about money. And I know when I was in high school, I had no concept of how much thing costed. I didn't realize how much rent was. And we really made students think about, you know, do I need that expensive shirt, or can I buy the generic one? Do I need to buy organic food, or can I go to Giant and use my coupon? And you know, these things, students came out going, I didn't know it was going to cost me that much. Maybe I do need to make sure I get, you know, my high school diploma. Maybe I do need to make sure that I get a well-paying job so that I can afford to live how I want to, especially where we live in Chester County. It's a quite expensive place to live, and this really helps students take that into an account. At the end, students got a certificate of completion, which just shows that they were able to think about their future and how much things cost. So we have a video here that wasn't the Franklin Mint Fair, but after watching it, we noticed that they're all run really similarly. So this just gives you an idea of what the fairs look like.
Welcome to the Financial Reality Fair. This is life after graduation.
Number, once you have everything totaled up and you know where you stand, you're gonna do one of two things. You're either gonna end up here with a counselor one-on-one talking about how you did, or if you're short, you're gonna end up in that corner getting a part-time job to go along with your full-time job. The goal is not to end up there.
The front page summarizes your career,
Your gross annual salary and your monthly net take-home pay.
your credit score has been assigned to you on the front page. Your credit score will determine the loan rate you receive at the credit union. You must visit all required foods.
Fill in your purchase decision on the budget worksheet. Ending monthly balances, monthly income, and monthly expenses.
Meet with a financial counselor to develop savings and loan strategies.
Housing table helps you choose whether you want to rent an apartment, townhome, or save money by living at home with your parents.
Hey there, now you're going to need a set of wheels. At the transportation table, we're going to help you make some choices that's going to best suit your lifestyle.
For food plans and clothing allowances, you will need to consider your career choice. You'll also need to consider how you're going to spend your free time. Entertainment, dating, and travel all have a cost.
In this high-tech world, everything's always connected. You're going to need a cell phone, internet access, or telephone. Volunteers are here to guide you through the numerous different options that are available.
A financial counselor will help you to review your budget and make sure that you're living within your means. If your budget is negative, you may be required to visit the part-time job table or to reduce some of your monthly expenses. They're also going to help you remember the importance of good credit and savings.
At the credit union table, we will talk to you about the importance of paying yourself first, managing your credit cards, and the advantages of credit unions over banks.
Doctoral degree, $80,000, and it's all going to student loans. Career in high school, salary $19,500, but that's not the plan. Cheese degree, $45,000, and I want to pursue my career in music.
$45,000, I'm going to pursue my career in nursing. I've been making 6 figures. I put it in savings so you can save it. I always have everything in my savings. Good idea. I have to think about what I actually do. There you go. Thank you. You can go over to calculations in the middle. 450, 210. Hi, my name is Kara, and I'm here with Jack. And Jack went through the financial reality fair 2 times to compare a bachelor's degree to an associate's degree. What would you have to say about that?
Honestly, I'd recommend to do that because you can see what options you have with housing and like renting and just different stuff. So you can see what you want to do after college.
Yeah, it's a really good idea to compare the two so you can see which direction you would most likely want to go into. That's the reality fair. Make your reality come true.
All right, and then sorry that video, some of the spots were a little tough to hear. I apologize for that. So after the reality fair, the kids really talked about, and they talked to each other about how much things costed, and they were really given those real world scenarios. As you may or may not heard with some of the kids, they really were able to reflect on, are the choices they're making going to be feasible? So the next big event we did was our annual career and training fair. We do this every year. It's been touched on a little bit throughout this presentation. And this is where we bring in businesses from all over the place, and they interview our kids. And some of our kids get real jobs. Some other aspects we really focus in on are talking about what dressing in business professional attire is. What does that look like? What does that mean for their career? And some of our students aren't able to afford an outfit like that. So we run a program called Dress to Succeed. And this is where our students can come and they can take business professional clothes, and they're theirs to keep. Because ultimately, when our students are feeling good about how they look and how they're dressed, they're going to present themselves better, and they're going to have more confidence in what they're doing. So we really want our students to come in that day feeling the most confident. We encourage them to revise their portfolio and bring in an updated resume. They'll go to various rooms throughout our building, as well as our office building that's connected to us. And they'll interview with at least 3 employers. I had students interview with 8, 9 people. I have one company in specific who says they want all of our students. They're ready to train them and really get them ready for the future and keep them and help them work while they're going to college and all those aspects, which is really great.
Hey, Kelly, can I just share something with that?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, so we, obviously in a number you've done, obviously we've all been going through the virtual world. We did put one of these on, last year as well, virtually. It's nice we were able to come back in person, but, a lot of this is reality now. A lot of interviews are being done virtually. So the kids took to that quite well last year as well, but the employers were just so refreshing to be around, and the kids got a great experience out of it. Like Kelly said, a number of them met with maybe 7, 8, maybe more than that, employers walking away with jobs offered to them, maybe on the spot or shortly after that. So it's just a wonderful experience. It's hard to create without actually being there to witness it, but it was well received, and our students just embrace it very much. So it's really refreshing to see them out and about doing that, and nice to be able to present them with those opportunities for sure.
Thanks, Stephen. Kelly. So again, guest speakers, we had virtual and in person. The great thing is we've had so many interactive experiences like the Career and Training Fair and the Financial Reality Fair. My apologies, you couldn't hear it clearly. It will be included in the resources as well. And kids have also had it lecture style, and it's been great. So we've had Alan Myers, Blue Dog, Benchmarks, a big construction company based out of Lancaster, but is all around. Pittsburgh Aeronautical Institute, the Goddard School, unions, IBEW, the Chamber of Commerce. We have several in our area, just because Chester County is such a large region that it's divided up. The chambers have been such a great resource, connecting business and industry and community and our school all together. They're part of the Career and Training Fair. They come in and speak. They will give some companies locally a little push, like go over to TCHS. They have great kids coming out of there. You could use them. Post-secondary PA College of Health and Sciences. They were, I think, one of the first this year to open up their doors and let us go in person to see their cool health sciences wing. Harcum, Johnson & Wales, University of Northern Ohio, so many more, PCT. But a huge piece is our alumni come back. Our alumni come back and they are judges for NOCTI. Our alumni come back to talk to the groups and do hands-on pieces with them. And they did that all through COVID, which is great. And I know we've spoken about COVID and the emotional and mental wellness. Well, of course I didn't take a picture, and I'm kicking myself for that, but of something great that happened. But our alumni they too are feeling the disconnect, and they've had to pivot their careers, especially in the hospitality field, and even nursing. And TCHS was their constant. It was their safe place, their home, and they felt they had relationships. We continually hear from our students that they're just one of many in their districts, but with us, they feel like they have better relationships with adults and with peers they may not have commingled with because we serve so many school districts, which is great. We had an instance where one of our school districts had a few days off, another one had off because of a water issue, and we had a gigantic board appreciation dinner. It was not gigantic, like 40, 50 people invited for a board appreciation dinner. Our baking and pastry and culinary instructor put out the help signals. We wound up having 8 alumni, some who went right to industry, some who went to a 2-year school, some who got a trade certificate, and some who went to Johnson & Wales and the CIA. So 8 of them came in to the building, took the day off, worked the night before. The industry has late nights, worked the night before, and came in and worked side by side with our current students and staff. And they stayed from about 7:30, 8 in the morning until 8, 9 at night. And they just worked side by side with our kids. And they just said, we just needed this. When can we come back next? This is our family. This is our group. We want to help and we want to give back. So alumni has been a huge piece of our building. And again, like I said, I wish I took a picture of all 8 of these former students to show you how dedicated they are to our programs. So another piece we have, working with the Manufacturers Alliance. I'm not going to click on the link, but it is in there. It's, again, free to all of you guys, just something we have. We did not have a lot of student buy-in this year because the beginning of the year was so crazy, but it is a free 3-hour training program developed by the Manufacturers Association in York County. Skills that they need to learn to apply to their career and industries. It's your soft skills, your workplace skills, your social skills. And again, with everyone being locked in and not going out as much and the whole COVID piece, students are really lacking in this area. So it's a great little certificate of completion you can get for your students. I know we all like having them and they can put them right in their portfolio, have it that they have completed it. It's a great, and again, in the hand resources, the PowerPoint is printed out for you. So they use Maslow's hierarchy, relationship bank account, strengths and limitations, and that's the disc, and that's also in there. And how we act at home versus how we act at work. So it's a great little professional piece that we can get the kids. Now going on to the fun stuff. Not really. Data. So we have data we've collected for each quarter because we've got to show what is the value added for having this course and have this collaboration across all of the different areas in our building. So data one for quarter one for underclassmen, it's not super remarkable because we're just starting off the year. So we have around 1,000 students in our building. It fluctuates, but that's about where we are in our individual building. So we got about 360 kids through the fun PD 408 forms. Only about 2 underclassmen with the PA Career Zone because that was really pushed more towards the end of the marking period and beginning of the second marking period. 400 kids familiarized with their task lists, their program teachers through lesson samples, safety in the workplace. If we have some skills that sometimes we'll push into the programs to teach some safety skills. 40 kids. So we also have broken up year 1, year 2. Theoretically, we have a student come in 10th grade, which would be year 1, 11th grade, year 2, and then senior year. Doesn't always work that way with our rolling admission, but that's the ideal. Only 120 students worked on with individual transition goals, but still pretty good numbers for the beginning of the year. And then explore college credit dual enrollment. Steve pushes into that class and into all the classes and talks about that. And we kind of tag team. So I know across the state, everyone was different. We went in fully masked and did not lose our masks until just recently. So, and we also limited people in the building. So we still got a lot of data collected on these students. And one thing with this, knowing your students and tag teaming, it really was great to see, like down here with the dual enrollment piece. For instance, Kelly, she knows the aptitudes of her students. By the time dual enrollment information comes out to say, hey, yep, you may want to sign up for that dual enrollment course on medical terminology. And then we explain things that I think often get left behind, that if you take the med term class, you pass it, that's 3 credits, that if you go on to college, that could be sent transfer as an elective or as med term. And if you don't go to college, it's something great for your resume. So we talk about things like that. And then we have senior data. Again, beginning of the year, we don't have that much data on them, but 130 kids we got to the different study groups for NOCD prep and that piece. We had companies come in these, so business and industry come in this list of classes. Portfolios are not finalized yet, so only about 130, but we worked on how to make them digital and also paper copies, and then review program task list, discuss options. Again, I think this is where we kind of bridge that gap between us and the sending school district. It's not just all go to college, it's not just be a nurse. There's different things. You could be a phlebotomist, you could be an EKG tech, an X-ray tech. You could go into so many different things. So we give them lots of those options. And then ongoing data. We assist with co-op placements. End of quarter one, I believe we had 12 students in the co-op process. I believe it's more now. Steve, do you know how many kids we have on co-op?
Yeah, it's probably closer to 20 to 25 now.
Okay.
So we're building those. Those numbers are going up more and more. Those opportunities are available now to students. So it's a great way to get them out into the field.
And then, thank you, Steve. And then we just help with ongoing certifications, OSHA 10, ServSafe, EPA, ICAR, all that fun stuff that I'm sure you all do. Nelson Denny and AccuPlacer Prep and Administration. All of us work on that. Learning support guidance, and then our assessment coordinator, which is through Perkins. Post-secondary speakers, and links to service programs, community, and business and industry. So we're constantly working on that data.
So yeah, Jen built up the loveliness of data, but it's important we do track that stuff. Some of the things we did, the beauty of the senior workshop was the chance, like I said before, to get in front of the students, but also give them a chance we can meet with them. So there was follow-up to check on them to see, where they are, both, professionally and mentally, and, educationally, to help them along their path. So some of that data wasn't necessarily tracked in Power School and in our, other means of data, but, it was important to meet with them. They actually have options. We want to help them. They now have faces, people they can go to in the building. We bring in partners that we bring in from military, post-secondary, business as well. So they have opportunities to meet with them and know that they have a team of people looking out for them to help them to get to their goal. Each one's plan, again, is going to be a little bit different, but we wanted to make sure that we gave them an opportunity to know who they could go out to or reach out to to help them along that path. And the beauty of this, again, is just adding to what we can help with their districts as well. Our district partners all need to check off boxes, and what we can help them with the CRI collection was very helpful. So this process is really working well with all of our stakeholders at the high schools that we deal with and so forth. So it's quite an undertaking, but well worth it and very helpful for both us and our district partners to fulfill these requirements and so forth. But so, and I had mentioned before, all this, a lot of information, a lot of things we're throwing at our students, but knowing that they're trying to lessen some of that anxiety and stress that they're dealing with for various reasons. As Debbie touched on wonderfully earlier, I mean, our students are dealing with a lot of anxiety. How we can take some of that off their plate and know that we have people there to help them and support them so they don't have to feel like they have to do it all themselves. Helping them goal set, getting them prepared that, it's okay to lean on us. There's people in the building to work with, and just giving them that opportunity to know that they're not in this alone, and they can only control what they can. Let us control some of those other factors and, barriers, so to speak, and help them along their path. So just making those connections in school, in their communities, at home, with industry and so forth is a big part of what this whole process was for. And, I think the students really got a lot of benefit from it. So thank you.
All right, so all of our resources and a lot of the things that we have talked about throughout this entire presentation will be available in the resources and handouts section. That will include, examples of our lists, our PowerPoint, all the videos. all of those good things. I know some of it was a little difficult to hear at times, so that way you'll be able to access any and everything that you want to.